Today we're going to work on percent increase and decrease. Find each percent increase, round to the nearest percent. Number 1, from 24 teachers to 30 teachers. When we do percent of increase and decrease, we are going to use big minus small over original equals x over 100. So my big number is 30, so I'm going to have 30 minus my small number is 24. My original number is always the first number. That will be my denominator, 24. I will set it equal to x over 100. Now I need to do my subtraction. I have 30 minus 24 is 6. And then I'm just going to copy the rest of my proportion. Now I'm going to recopy my proportion over here so you can see what I'm doing. 6 over 24 equals x over 100. We're going to solve our proportion by doing cross products. 24 times x is 24x. 6 times 100, remember when we multiply by 100, our decimal moves 2 places to the right, so we get 600. Then to solve our proportion, we need to divide to isolate our variable. So we'll divide both sides by 24. Our 24s will cancel. Then we need to divide 600 divided by 24. 24 can go into 60 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. You have to borrow, subtract, and get 12. Bring down the 0. 24 goes into 120 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Subtract and get 0. So your answer is 25%. Now you're going to do questions 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 by yourself. Just like that. Now let's look at number 7. Find each percent decrease, round to the nearest percent, from 20 miles to 11 miles. When we do percent decrease, we do the same thing as we do for percent increase. Big minus small over original equals x over 100. My big number is 20. My small number is 11. My original number is the first number, so it's 20. Set it equal to x over 100. I need to subtract. 20 minus 11 is 9. Recopy the rest of the proportion. Now I need to do my cross product. 20x, 9 times 100. Remember when you multiply by 100, your decimal moves 2 places to the right, so you get 900. Now you need to divide by 20. Cancels out. You get x equals, you need to divide 900 divided by 20. 20 goes into 20 goes into 90 4 times. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract and get 10. Bring down the 0. 20 goes into 100 5 times. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 2 is 10. Subtract and get 0. So my answer is 45%. So you need to work 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 just like that. Question number 13. Given the original amount and the percent of change, find the new amount. When we're looking for the new amount, we're going to have to find the percent value first, and then we're either going to add it or subtract it, depending on whether or not it is an increase or decrease. This one is an increase, so we will be adding. So when we look at this problem, we see that we have a number that has a percent sign next to it. So that tells me that I'm going to need to use that to find the percent. So I have 300 over 100. Percent means out of 100. The denominator will always be 100. And we need to know what is a 300% increase of $25. So my part, I do not know. My whole is 25. So now I have my proportion set up, and I will need to solve my proportion. Cross product, 100x, multiply 300 times 25. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 3 is 15. 0 placeholder. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 3 is 6. Add that. Get 0, 0, 5. 6 plus 1 is 7. So I get 7,500. And we're going to divide by 100. We divide both sides by 100. Remember, when you divide by 100, your decimal moves 2 places to the left. So you get x equals 75. Now that's not a percent because we were finding 300% of 25. So since we have 300% of 25 is 75 and it is an increase, we're going to need to add that to the original amount. So we had $25 to start with. We found the 300% increase, which was $75, and we will add it because it is an increase, and we will get $100. So $25 after a 300% increase is $100. Let's look at a decrease. 160 bananas, 20% decrease. So again, we have a percent, so we know we're going to need to use our percent proportion. 20 over 100 equals x over 160. We're going to solve our proportion. Cross product, 100x. 160 times 20. Everything times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 6 is 12. Carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. So I get 3,200. Divide both sides by 100. Decimal moves 2 places to the left. So I get 32. Remember, this is not a percent. We found 20% of 160. So we are going to have a decrease of 32. So since it is a decrease, we are going to subtract to find the new amount. So we had 160 bananas. There was a 20% decrease, and we figured out that 20% was 32. So we're going to subtract those two. We have to borrow. 10 minus 2 is 8. 5 minus 3 is 2. And don't forget to bring down the 1. So after a 20% decrease, we now have 128 bananas. You are going to do 15, 16, 17, and 18 by yourself, using those two as examples. Now let's look at number 19. You're going to solve. Last year there were 380 students at Woodland Middle School. This year the student population will increase by 5%. What will be the school's increased student population? Since we see that we have a percent in the problem, we know we're going to need to use that to find 5% of 380 students. So let's set up our proportion. 5 over 100 equals x over 380 students. We're going to solve that proportion, and when we solve that proportion, we will get the value of x, which will be the value of that proportion, whatever we get when we solve that proportion. So since it is an increase, we are going to need to add. So we will take the original amount, which was 380. We will add what we got when we solved the proportion, and that will be our answer. What will be the school's increased student population? The answer you get when you add the original amount plus the percent of the increase will be your answer. So you finish and solve that. Number 20. A backpack that normally sells for $39 is on sale for 33% off. Find the amount of the discount and the sale price. So we are going to need to figure out what is 33% of $39. So we have 33 over 100 equals x over 39. When we solve that proportion, we are going to get an answer. That will be x. Since this is a discount, we are going to be subtracting. So the original price of the backpack is $39, and we want to make sure that we remember that that's going to be 39, and then we need our decimal point to show our change. And then when we get our answer for x, we're going to need to make sure that we line up our decimal, but we will subtract whatever we got for x. And that will be the sale price of the backpack. And actually the question says find the amount of discount and the sale price. So you're going to need to make sure that you emphasize what you get for your proportion will be your discount. And then once you take the original price and subtract what the discount was, then you will get your sale price. Finish that on your own. Number 21. In August, the Simons water bill was $48. In September, it was 15% lower. What was the Simons water bill in September? So we're going to need to figure out what is 15% of 48. 15 over 100 equals x over 48. We will solve this proportion, and we will get whatever 15% is of 48. Since their bill was lower, we are going to be subtracting. So we will take the $48 that their water bill was in August. We will subtract whatever the 15% amount was, that it is lower, and then we will get the total of their amount for September, for their water bill, amount in September. So you need to finish that one. Number 22, a gallery owner purchased a very old painting for $3,000. The painting sells at 325% increase in price. What is the retail price of the painting? So we see that we have 325%. So we're going to put 325 over 100 equals X over $3,000. That is the price of the painting. We're going to figure out what is a 325% increase of 3,000. And once we solve that proportion, we will have that value. Since it is an increase in price, we are going to need to add. So we will take the $3,000, we will add X, which was our value that we had when we solved our proportion, and that will be the retail price of the painting. So you'll need to finish that and solve that on your own, and make sure that you complete all of the problems.